Imagine $1 trillion. It is a number so large it becomes abstract, a figure that belongs to the GDP of nations or the market caps of the world's largest tech giants. But this $1 trillion isn't building smartphones, launching satellites, or curing diseases. It is being siphoned out of the global economy, one text message, one fake investment app, and one manipulated heartbreak at a time. We are currently witnessing the birth of a new kind of superpower, but it doesn't have a flag or a seat at the UN. It is an invisible cyber syndicate, an industrial-scale machine of fraud that has turned Southeast Asia into the world's headquarters for corporate-style crime. For decades, we were told to watch out for the lone hacker in a dark basement, the social misfit looking for a quick score. That era is dead. Today, your greatest digital threat is an organized, high-rise office building filled with thousands of employees, HR departments, performance KPIs, and forced labor. This is the story of the scam cities, the shadow economy that is quietly destabilizing global finance and destroying millions of lives through a process so clinical and efficient, it would make a Fortune 500 CEO blush. The transformation began in the vacuum left by the global pandemic, as traditional tourism and trade collapsed in border regions of Myanmar, Cambodia, and Laos. A vacuum was created. Into that void stepped organized crime syndicates, many with roots in illicit gambling, who realized that the most profitable resource on Earth wasn't drugs or weapons, it was human attention and digital trust. They didn't just build hideouts, they built cities. In places like Myawaddy or Sihanoukville, massive fortified compounds rose from the jungle. From the outside, they look like business parks or luxury hotels, surrounded by high walls and barbed wire. Inside, they are the assembly lines of the 21st century. But the workers aren't building cars. They are building illusions. This is the industrialization of the pig butchering scam, or Sha Zhu Pang. The name itself is chillingly corporate. You fatten the victim with affection, attention, and the promise of wealth. And then, when the trust is peak, you move in for the slaughter. It is a psychological operation executed with the precision of a software rollout. The most horrifying aspect of this trillion-dollar industry is the engine that drives it: human trafficking. The people sending you those accidental WhatsApp messages or LinkedIn requests are often victims themselves. They are young, educated professionals from across Asia and Africa who were lured by high-paying tech jobs in customer service or digital marketing. When they arrive, their passports are confiscated and they are sold to the compounds. They are given a script, a smartphone, and a quota. If they don't meet their daily targets for finding new victims or extracting money, they aren't fired. They are beaten, electrocuted, or sold to another compound. This creates a desperate, hyper-efficient workforce. These are not scammers working for fun. They are prisoners working for their lives. This forced labor model allows the syndicates to scale at a rate the world has never seen. A single compound can house 5,000 workers, each managing dozens of conversations simultaneously using AI-powered translation tools that allow a high school dropout in Myanmar to speak perfect, idiomatic English to a retiree in Florida. The sophistication of the product is where the global economy really starts to feel the sting. These syndicates don't just ask for your credit card number. They build entire ecosystems. They create fake cryptocurrency trading platforms that look and feel identical to legitimate ones. They use real-time data to show you fake profits, encouraging you to invest more. They even allow you to withdraw small amounts of money early on to prove the system works. It is the ultimate freemium model applied to grand larceny. By the time a victim realizes the money is gone, it has already been laundered through a dizzying array of mule accounts and converted into Tether or Bitcoin, moving through shadow banks that operate beyond the reach of Western regulators. This isn't just a series of individual thefts. It is a massive transfer of wealth from the legitimate economy into the pockets of warlords and organized crime bosses who use the funds to buy political influence, high-end real estate, and sophisticated weaponry, further destabilizing the regions they inhabit. We have to understand that these compounds are run like tech startups. They have research and development wings that study the latest trends in Western psychology and finance. When AI became a household term, they immediately integrated deepfake technology to conduct video calls, making the person you think you're falling in love with appear real. When they saw the rise in retail stock trading, they shifted their scripts to focus on insider tips and AI-driven algorithms. They are agile, they are data-driven, and they are completely unburdened by ethics or law. The economic impact is staggering. While the direct theft is measured in the hundreds of billions, the secondary effects are even worse. There is a total breakdown in digital trust. Legitimate businesses are finding it harder to reach customers because everyone has been conditioned to ignore unknown contacts. Financial institutions are spending billions on fraud detection, costs that are passed down to the consumer. The global economy relies on the frictionless movement of information and money. But these syndicates are injecting massive amounts of trust friction into the system. Perhaps the most disturbing part of this global shadow economy is the complicity of the structures around it. These scam cities often exist in special economic zones, areas where the local government has effectively handed over sovereignty to private developers. In exchange for infrastructure and bribes, these zones become lawless black holes. Local police are often paid to guard the perimeter of the compounds, not to keep the criminals in, but to keep the rescuers out. It is a perfect fusion of corporate efficiency and state-level corruption. This is why international law enforcement is so paralyzed. How do you serve a warrant on a city-sized compound protected by a private army in a country undergoing a civil war? The syndicates know they are untouchable, and that confidence allows them to reinvest their trillions into even more advanced technology. They are currently the world's most successful growth industry, and they are using the very tools designed to connect the world's social media, encrypted messaging, and decentralized finance to tear it apart. The scale of the operation has reached a tipping point where it is now a macroeconomic threat. In some Southeast Asian nations, the revenue from these scam compounds is estimated to rival or exceed the legitimate GDP. This creates a criminalized economy where the state becomes dependent on the success of the fraud. This isn't just a crime wave, it's a systemic rot. As these syndicates grow, they are moving beyond simple financial fraud. They are becoming providers of crime as a service, selling their infrastructure, their laundered capital, and their tech stacks to other bad actors. From rogue states to traditional drug cartels, the line between a scam and state-sponsored cyber warfare is blurring. If you can use these methods to steal $1 billion, you can use them to influence an election, spread disinformation, or crash a local currency. The invisible syndicates are no longer just stealing your money. They are building the infrastructure for a world where truth is a commodity and safety is a luxury. We are entering an era where the dark side of the global economy is no longer hidden in the shadows. It is standing in plain sight, housed in glass and steel towers. The trillion-dollar scam industry is the ultimate expression of a world that is hyper-connected but deeply fractured. It thrives on our loneliness, our greed, and our misplaced trust in the digital systems we use every day. As long as these scam cities can operate with impunity, the global economy will continue to leak wealth at an unsustainable rate. The fight against these syndicates isn't just about better passwords or being more skeptical of a text message. It is about recognizing that we are in a new kind of war, one where the front lines are the screens in our pockets, and the casualties are being held in cages halfway across the world. The invisible syndicates are counting on our silence and our compartmentalization. They are counting on us to see this as a series of small, unfortunate events, rather than a single, massive, and coordinated assault on the foundations of the modern world. It is time we start talking about the trillion-dollar industry that no one wants to acknowledge, because by the time we do, the shadow economy might be the only one left standing. Every time you ignore a suspicious link, every time a bank flags a fraudulent transaction, and every time the world puts pressure on the regimes that host these compounds, a small crack appears in their armor. But make no mistake, we are up against a machine that is smarter, faster, and more ruthless than anything we've faced before. The era of the small-time scam is over. The era of the cyber syndicate has arrived, and it is hungry for everything you've built.